Yo guys, what's going on? Blobs back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drive. Today we're jumping into what can you get from that pack, Touma Collection Edition. Now, I do like the idea, and I do think that I was one of the people that kind of suggested it a long time ago, but I do like the idea of having a collection based around every single boss. I think that's really cool, but come on guys, let's not be redundant about things. 3 collection bosses challenges in a row. We had Marilyn, we had Gaz, now we have Touma. I don't know, man. Like, I like the idea, but don't run it to the ground. There's a reason why I don't post a pack opening every day on the channel. There's a reason why I don't post a what can you get from that pack every day on the channel. There's a reason why I don't post RQ 10 to 100. You need to spread things out, have some variety in between. And I genuinely think that if they just do Gaz collection, boss collection, you know, over and over and over and over, it's gonna lose its meaning. It's gonna become redundant, and it's kind of unfortunate in a sense where, yeah, we see these bosses and stuff, but there's still no new dialogue. You know, like we get their challenges, we see their faces, but there's still no dialogue. There's no lore. There's no storyline. And I think it's really important to have a storyline for players to follow, especially in a game where you can't even control the cars per se. You gotta bring direction to the players in some way, shape, or form, or to give them some emotional payout, I guess. Is that just me? I don't know. Personally, I would have liked some more dialogue, and I would have liked them to spread out the collections just a little bit more, you know, maybe put in a Call of the Wild Part 3 in between, you know, Gaz's collection and Touma's collection, or whatever boss we had previously, Marilyn, that's right, or some new tag, you know, just to change things up a little bit. But anyway, today we're going to review the pack. Also, I'm going to showcase you what my current collection looks like, so you guys just know what I'm currently dealing with, because usually when I like to critique every single car, I always say, oh, I own most of them. Well, you know, I don't actually show it, but this time I'm actually showing it to you. I own most of them, and they're all fully upgraded as well. So I have used them, you know, sometimes a lot less than others. Like, for example, Pulsar, probably not that much. Yeah, 118 races compared to, what's a car that I've used a lot? CX, nah, I don't think it's gonna be 100. Higher or lower? 118. I'm gonna say higher. No, it's lower. 85. Okay, what's a surefire car that I know that I've used many times? It's not a good start, is it? Maybe the 370Z, just because it's been in the game for like forever. 235, sure. And then obviously we move on to the epics. Don't have a lot of epics over here. Only 5 cars. All, you know, RQ 7069, and then with the legends as well. That was kind of smart for them to include these 2 prize cars, because you know, as much as I love the Calsonic GTR Group A, right, the OG, I do believe this is the Bathurst version. I do believe this is the OG Godzilla. I like that they added this, because they kind of know that this prize car is kind of useless. Since winning it, I've barely used it in absolutely anything at all. 179 races in 899 days, and most of these races are pity races in clubs, just because I like the car and I want it to be used, right? Same thing with the Mazda RX Vision GT3. Not a prize car that people would use too much, especially if you own the 787B. I do not, but still, even without the 787B, I don't use this prize car too much. So I think it's kind of smart that they included it. I think there will actually be use for my GTR Group A now, which I'm kind of looking forward to, because I do love the car. But anyway, let's get into the review. As always, highly versatile, requires some criteria, has little moments, and requires a special tag challenge. We're going to start off with the Forester. Requires a special tag challenge. Basically this Touma collection. Same thing with the Infinity. And now a lot of people online were saying that this pack was not very good. I don't think it's good, I'll be honest, but I want to see how bad it actually is. Hyundai Genesis, I think it has little moments if you need to use a Japanese car with rear-wheel drive, which is kind of rare. With low ground clearance, it handles pretty well. Hyundai Genesis might be decent, you know, if you can't use a Super, let's say that it's capped to RQ50. That might be an okay car to use. Did I just say Japanese? I am so sorry. It's Korean. It's South Korean. That's the thing, right? That's Touma's collection. He's a Japanese boss, which makes me immediately assume that everything here is Japanese, but it isn't. There's even Malaysian cars in here. There's Chinese cars in here. It's just, yeah, it's a bit interesting, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, got Hyundai Genesis. I do apologize. That actually makes it even better, because it being in the South Korean league, even less cars to compete with. Definitely will have its moments. It will have its moments. And its rear-wheel drive as well. A lot of those Hyundai, you know, whatever these things are called, the Velocitors and stuff, they're all front-wheel drive. So maybe even requires some criteria, honestly, if it's just based on South Korean events. Moving on is the Buick Envision. Talking about Chinese cars, we have one right here. Let's say it has little moments. It's 4-wheel drive and it's standard, which is great. We will never see a Chinese event. I think we will be able to see South Korean events, definitely Japanese events, but I don't think we'll see a Chinese standalone event. Not yet. I know that the country is growing in top drives. You know, one day if they added like BYD or something like that, then, you know, maybe, just maybe we'll see a Chinese event. But up till now, it has a little moments, even though it's 4-wheel drive and standard. Moving on to Sylvia Nismo. Oh, the S14. Love this car. I love it, I love it, I love it. But honestly, at most, maybe has little moments. I remember at the start of JPT, this car was great. It's like RQ54 almost, right? Maybe even 55, 54 definitely. And it looked really good. But to be honest, I don't use it that much. Nissan 370Z, very similar to the Sylvia Nismo, as in like it will have little moments. It's not completely useless, but like there are better options to use. If I ever needed to use a rear-wheel drive Japanese, like legit Japanese car, I would use the the Suzuki Panda, right? Now next up, Mazda CX-7 has little moments. It's very similar to the Buick Envision. Again, it's 4-wheel drive and it's standard and it's capable of getting AT handling, but you know, with every single update, there are going to be more and more 4-wheel drive standard tire cars that they're going to add to the game, and these lower end ones will just become more and more redundant. So I would say it has little moments. I don't think it will ever be completely useless just because it's simply 4-wheel drive and standard, but there are a lot more better options to use nowadays. Bufori Geneva is up next. Has little moments as well. Much like the Chinese cars, you won't see a Malaysian event in the game. And unlike this red version, the blue Geneva is like the best RQ52 or 51 for City Street Small. And I think it beats all the 52s as well. I recently did that in my most recent RQ10 to 100, right? So I would say that the blue Geneva is just a little bit better. And honestly, these two cars are almost identical. So I don't even know why the blue one is better and why the red one is not. But I'm going to say it has little moments. It's medium ground clearance. It has, you know, a top speed of not 155. So it could be able to compete against German cars, but that's such a niche. I don't even know why I'm bringing that up. Like, will you ever have a Germany, Malaysia ultra rare event with test bowl? Yeah, so has very little moments. Honestly, theatering on requires a special tag challenge, but I'm putting it up there because it's medium. Nissan Pathfinder is up next. It used to be good because it was like 82 handling, 4-wheel drive all surface. But then again, I genuinely do not remember the last time I used it. Probably years ago. 3000 GT, I'm gonna say has a little moments. Veloster N, I'm gonna say requires some criteria. Handles well and front-wheel drive. Hyundai Konas, I want to talk about both of them actually. I'm gonna say both of them are versatile. Where's the other one? Unless the other one was not included in Touma's collection and there's only one, because the other Kona, the blue one, they kind of go hand in hand. Okay, I guess it's not on this tag. Then we have the CX-9. Ooh, CX-9 is an interesting one because it's just a slightly better version of the CX-7. So I think I'll put it in require some criteria as well. That used to be RQ59, I remember that. Hyundai Santa Fe, again, special tag challenge. CX Cross Sport, I'm going to put it in has... Oh, it's tough. I kind of need to judge both of them together. I'm going to put both of them in require some criteria for now, but I might actually bump them down because I just cannot remember. I remember using the CX-9 more than the MX Cross Sport, but that's only because the CX-9 is like OG Mazda, or like it's older than the MX Cross Sport. I'm pretty sure. I do want to double check how OG that Mazda is. I'm pretty sure that this is definitely way older. Yeah, it's been in the game since the start. This has been APGP, but this has been in the game since the start, or since the first ever Mazda update, right? It came with Porsche all the way back in 2018. So I use it a lot more. I mean, just to show you, 140 races. All right, well, I'm eating my well. It's a lot more than this one. That's 35. Oh man. Well, I think that felt like a Premier League like VAR check, didn't it? I'm moving both of them down. Hyundai Genesis 5.0 has little moments. I tend to use the other Hyundai Genesis a little more, just because it's more of a dragster compared to this one. Then moving on is the Subaru Legacy. This car, again, I'm going to say requires a special tag challenge. Gravel Express, I'm going to put it in requires some criteria for now just because it's so lightweight. And it used to be one of the best cars for like the hill climb and stuff. or not one of the best Japanese cars for hill climb, I should say, Japanese. But anyway, we'll put it there for now. FX35 as well handles really well for an all-surface ultra rare, 85, making it one of the highest. But we have reviewed many ultra rares on this channel before, and this thing just isn't the best. Although it has the highest handling count when you max it out, I guess it's just so bloody heavy that it still loses to, you know, things like the brand new, whatchamacallit, EGT Alpha, or even that Audi A7 in the drags and stuff. So, but then again, I shouldn't compare this to the Audi A7 because this isn't a drag, this is a handling car. But then again, it still loses to things like the Pontiac GXP. It loses to some of the new Cadillacs. That gets, I think, like 84 handling when you max them out from Pacific Coast Highway, not Pacific Coast Highway, American Overdrive. Also loses to the Alpha. So I'm gonna bring it down to has a little moments, unfortunately. Then we've got the Santa Fe. Yeah, that's in the bottom. 3000 GT. I'm gonna put that and requires some criteria. I'm gonna bring the Impreza down one as well, honestly. Then we got the Impreza WRX GT8. Oh god, like, should we just go through every single one of these four-wheel drive medium ground clearance Subarus? The thing about the Subarus is that I kind of rank them higher than a Bentley. Just because they handle better, they're lighter, they're also all four-wheel drive and medium ground clearance, they're also mostly saloons. They don't bring the top speed that the Bentleys provide, but then they don't bring MRA, and Bentleys don't bring MRA either, so they're better Bentleys. Bentleys, I would put them in special tag challenge, and the Subarus, I'm going to say, has little moments, especially since APGP. Because if you want to go APGP, if you want to go Japanese four-wheel drive medium ground clearance, you go for those two 64s, the Mazda Atenza and the Mitsubishi. So we go, yeah, country, Japan, and then we go into like wherever car attributes, yeah, four-wheel drive, performance, right? You go for, yeah, you go for these, man. You go for the Atenza and you go for the Lancer. The Subarus are kind of useless compared to those two, so I'm going to put them at the bottom. Moving on, Hyundai Elantra M. I'm going to put that in requires some criteria. It's decent. It's a saloon. It handles well. It doesn't have inflated RQ, I would say. Then we have the Pulsar. Pulsar comes up next. Again, don't use it that much. Going to rank it with the Subis. But that is a hatchback. So for hatchback events, it might stand out just a little bit more. But how often do we get hatchbacks events, you know? Mazda CX-50. I'm going to put that in versatile as well. Four-wheel drive standard, and it handles well. Very heavy, though. That's the one thing to remember. Moving on to epics. Okay, we'll go through this super quickly. Special tag challenge, special tag challenge, special tag, special tag, special tag. This won me a prize car at the beginning of JPT. I believe it was the Polo Intenza Emozione. Never used it since. No, I actually used it in like one ceramic event after that since, but still. I mean, that directly correlates to has little moments, technically, right? But no, the only reason why I won me the Apollo is because not everybody in my Apollo bracket was super lucky and got higher value epics. So yeah, that's the only reason why. And I was bothered to upgrade that, so it beat a lot of ultra rares. A lot of these are just really bad. I mean, special tag, I think this should be special tag, this should be special tag, this maybe one higher, right? Lower 0 to 60, handles just about the same as everything else here. I'll bump these three all up because they're just slightly better than all these four-wheel drive. They're all basically the same though. Here's a fun fact: every single epic from every single performance tire epic from Touma's collection is four-wheel drive, besides the Mazda Lantis. So I do think that this car is definitely going to shine in Touma's collection, for sure. But that's just in Touma's collection, right? In a general sense, this is one of the worst performing front-wheel drive cars. I guarantee you it will probably lose to the Maxi, the RQ64, in many scenarios. I did not test that out, to be fair, but again, there's no point of me using the Lantis. I mean, just look at my front-wheel drive collection, for crying out loud. Car attributes, front-wheel drive, slick. Like, there's no use for the Lantis when you have all of this. I've got double cruises, we've got RS3s. Just look at how far it goes down the pecking order, right? For it to be useful, it's not as good as, you know, the Alpha 156, Primera, Mazda 3, Cruise, Laguna. Granted, some of these are prize cars, but I digress. You know, some people even own the Veloster N, for example. And yeah, I mean, the 306 Maxi has an entire second more than a second to 60 than the Lantis. It's crazy. Okay, four-wheel drive standards. These two has little moments. I don't think they're completely useless. As long as you fully upgrade them, you might get some use out of them. Mitsubishi Lancer, this one has little moments as well, just because it handles really well. 86. You've got the Infiniti M56, has little moments just because it's got a little bit of MRA, a little bit of juice in that car, and you can use it in road drive standard events, as rare as they come. Now, moving on to the better four-wheel drives. I think one of the best ones is this one right here. It's the Lancer Evolution GSR. But everything else just goes below it. I would put the Hyundai Ioniq below it. I would put the Evolution below it. And then all of these other four-wheel drives, I mean... I had this 77 and I fused it away. Again, with Subaru, if we go back into filter, get rid of all that, epic. There are just so many better options to use, right? Like the one that's Touma collection is how far is it down the pecking order? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like the 9th. It's like the 9th best option. So for that, I would say has little moments, and this event will be one of that moments, one of the special tag challenges. We've got the Impreza WRX. Again, this thing has been useful in tri-series of past. I'll bump it up one, and I'll put this one together. I'll put this one together as well. And then moving on, and I do believe that this has traction control ABS. This does not. I think this only has one or the other. I still have the Subarus up, and we can double check. Yeah, this is no traction control, and this has traction control. So that's probably one of the reasons why they're both the same RQ, although this has a 0.3 second lower 0 to 60, and they have the same handling and same, you know, top speed and everything like that. Ending off with the Legends, I mean, the off-roaders are highly versatile. I mean, I'm definitely going to put those at the top. We can put you here just ever so. I mean, it's tough because this is always going to lose to these two Hyundais. The only reason why this is kind of up in RQ is because it's high ground clearance. Oh, did it get nerfed though? Did it get nerfed though? I'm not sure actually. I remember it being high ground clearance. Is it still high ground clearance? It's not! Yes! I think I slightly remember that they bumped it down. Yeah, so that's going down. Then we've got the Nismo Z-Tune. I mean, requires some criteria. This also requires some criteria just because it's, you know, just a little lower. Oh, got the GTRs too. Requires some criteria, and that's being nice. The Silvia Super Silhouette, I'll put that in requires, I'll bring it up one. I'll bring it up like maybe here. Yeah, there you go. This is my personal opinion, of course. But I can see why a lot of people are saying that this is not a good pack, not a good tag. Not interested. Honestly, not interested. Not a lot of good cars to get. I am lucky to say that I got 50% of the best cars in this pack. I got the track edition as well as the i20. Wouldn't mind getting this epic, but the odds of that is almost second to none. So anyway, guys, is it worth opening this pack? No. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop.